Afternoon, I think, right? I'll just start out saying Happy New Year to everybody. That would be the first thing. The second thing would be is it's really good to be working in January, or actively working, I should say, because we'd be working. But with that, I'll just open it up.
Coach Armani watched 48 defensive snaps in the regular season finale. It's a career high for him. But how did he look to you after you reviewed that tape? And then how ready is he if he has to assume a larger role this week?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I think what the assistant coaches have done a great job of, and you don't see this part of it, but we have a lot of walkthroughs, and we actually split them in Coach House, and we split the staff in half. And the guys that normally with me are the guys that are going to play in the game, and we go through a lot of things. And then the coaches have those guys down. Armani would be one of them all the time. And I think that the foundation of that has really helped all those young guys that have had to jump in, and I'm hoping that it will be the same thing here. I thought he did a nice job filling in 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, for Juan. It was unfortunate what happened to Juan. But that's what guys in this league are expected to do. You know, somebody gets hurt, you got to step in. And the first thing is you need to know what you're doing. You know, we're always. I think the assistant coach has done a great job with that.
In college football, Watt's had a real nose for the football. Based upon what you've seen and watched this year, do you get that sense that
yeah.
Been maintained?
Physical guy, you know, can find the football. I'd agree with that. There's a lot of nuances that need to be learned. The thing, you know, the biggest fear of any of this is, you mentioned it, 48 snaps. I wouldn't have known that if you didn't tell me.
I got your back.
I appreciate it. You know, even like, you just think of Juan going back at the beginning of the season, right? So he had 48 snaps in the first game. But then there were still mistakes in the second game and then a third game. So it takes a little bit of time. Now, Armani's been in the league a little bit, so hopefully his learning curve is a little bit higher and is beyond that. But we'll see. He's got to step up. Everybody got to step up.
Coach, you watched Deshaun Watson in the last game, and you see two guys coming at him, sandwiching him, and he still manages to get out, even though it looks like there's great tackles. Is there a secret to keeping that guy down once you got him in your grasp?
I don't know that there's a secret. A lot of different, we've talked about a lot. You need more people there. Maybe it takes 3 instead of 2. That was obvious in that play. It was unfortunate for Buffalo. You're talking about the Buffalo play, right? Yeah. But look, it's all 11. There's a lot of things with that. Like if number 4 is going to scramble around with the ball, let's make sure he's got nowhere to throw it and maybe holds on to it longer to give the other guys a chance to get there, or maybe get the third guy there. But it's going to take more than one. He's a talent. We understand that. If he ends up making a play, we got to dust off and get ready to play the next play. That's what we're going to have to do.
He's a guy that could get sacked a lot, but you guys didn't get any the first time.
Yeah.
Was that one of the biggest disappointments coming along?
Probably, yeah, going back to that game. The other disappointment in that game, in my opinion, was the time of possession. They had the ball a long time. That means Patrick's not on the field. That's not good for our football team. So it's our job to, I think third down is going to be really important. Along with that, you know, to me, they're a team offensively that possesses the football, and they do a really good job possessing the football. Just by the time of possession. So first down and second down, trying to create some negative plays becomes really important. You know, we need to do that somehow. And then when it does get to third down, we need to win those.
Coach, isn't also the running backs do make a lot of catches, and Duke Johnson is kind of a secret weapon for them.
Yeah, he is.
That's kind of been a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Running backs who've been made catches for this defense.
You're talking against us?
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably know more than I do. I just defend the other team and see what happens at the end of it. But I do remember some games, Green Bay was one, for example. But every time we go into a game, it's what's the matchup on the back, who can cover him, who can't. So we'll stay cautious of that. But he's a good football player, and they get the rocket screens out to him, and he turns and runs with it. He's a good player.
Steve, have you noticed that, football theory question for you, you've been coaching defense in this league a long time. Have you noticed, are teams running more deep route combinations than they used to, or is it about the same?
I know I see a lot of them in OTAs. When number 10's running down the field, and so it feels like normal to us. No, and that's honest. I'm being honest, because our guys run a lot of deep routes. You know, we first and second down on the play actions, we call things called speedos or burners, which are the routes that you're talking about. I think they're all over the league. We spend part of our Saturday night looking at some of those big plays, even if it's not a team we're playing, because it's a beg, borrow, and steal league business, and coaches will steal an idea and throw it down the field.
Steve, why do you think teams are dialing those up a little more freely than they might have been used to?
You know, one of the reasons might be if you look at explosive plays in this business, you know, denying them defensively and certainly getting them on offense, and Andy and Eric can speak more to this than I can on offensively, but I believe there's a stat. I know from a defensive standpoint, limiting explosive plays is one of the stats that correlates more directly 2 points allowed. Now, there are other things, third down, red zone, the whole thing, but limiting explosive plays is one of them. It's one of them that's on our list that we try to deny every game for obvious reasons.
More specifically, like, what is Will Fuller, him being active, how does that change what
Yeah.
he can do?
Well, he takes the top off the coverage. He's the speed guy. In the last game we played him, I can remember one vividly. I know there was another one on Breezy that they tried to get around the 30-yard line. I mean, that's what they do with them. That they try to loosen you up with that, try to get one downfield to change what you're doing. So he's a threat, somebody we've got to be aware of.
Coach, there's a lot of numbers out there about how you guys really turned the corner after the Tennessee game defensively, and you're the number 3 defense at this and 1 at this and 2 at that. There's kind of like a counter thing, like, well, maybe the offenses they played haven't been that good.
Yeah. Does that mean that the offenses we played early were really good?
Sure, absolutely. That's
Okay,
right.
noted.
But my question to that would be, whatever they are, playing good football, does it build upon itself?
Yeah, I mean,
You said every game's a matchup, but
yeah.
does it build the confidence of your players?
I do think confidence is huge in this league, offensively and defensively, for all players. I mean, we're way back. I remember having this discussion in here about Travarius Ward, and why is he struggling? And all of a sudden he played what? I think we talked about confidence is huge at that position, and it's huge in a unit, which is really important. I mean, the one thing I always tell the guys is let's not worry about the S words until the end of the year, stats and standings. So we don't really focus on that very much. I told you all this before. When we were struggling, it was all about trusting our way to improvement. It wasn't about, now let's try to get this stat down or that stat. But I credit the assistant coaches and the players for sticking to that, trusting it, and getting better. We still got some plateaus we need to get to.
And as a follow-up to that, at training camp, you said, it was pretty kind of a bold, or an unusual statement, right? You said, listen, we're going to be better later. You almost kind of gave a tip that it's going to be kind of rough.
Yeah.
Did it happen about the time you thought it would?
That's hard for me. I guess I'll have a better feel for that when this is all over, hopefully not soon. And I can go back and look at it. It kind of goes, it all gets wrapped together. Until you make the statement about after the Tennessee game and, even the stat you threw, I'm not really aware of that. I know that sounds strange, but in this league, all you really can do is focus on the next game. So as soon as that one game's over and we get all the things detailed and corrected, I'm just worried about the next team. I just learned in this business that if you don't do it that way, good things don't happen. So.
Couple more, guys.
I know you guys are forward-thinking, obviously, you just kind of talked about that a little bit, but what do you maybe lose in the line that happen in the play that needs to come?
Yeah, I mean, anything that I would say there that we lost is just a compliment and a credit to him. I just saw him do this all year long, and you guys did too. You can remember back in some of the earlier games where we, but I tell you, the guys around him, like Tyron, Kendall, some of the vets that hung in there with him, they were always encouraging him, and he hung in there. That tells you something about him in terms of fortitude and what he can fight through.
Steve, you just talked about the trust, right? Like early on that there was trust that this thing would be better. That doesn't always happen,
No.
right? Like,
No.
Why do you think there was that trust? What did you do, or what was inherent in the group you took over?
No, I think it was the players, and it's always about the group of men you're dealing with. Look, we're not changing people's insides, I mean, Brett did a good job picking the guys that we got. We were fortunate we got guys that, kind of bought in. It doesn't always happen in this league. It doesn't always happen anywhere. I don't care what business you're talking about. But buy-in is huge, and when things get a little rough, if people stop bailing out, it falls apart. These guys didn't do that. To their credit. I give all the credit to them, and I keep going back to the assistant coaches. I don't think enough's been said about that. If we weren't fortunate enough to get the guys that we got that were familiar with the system, who are character guys and guys I personally love, I'm blessed beyond words that I have these guys. They've made all the difference in the world, in my opinion. Them and the players.
One more?
Go ahead, Karen.
Just a little further on Deshaun Watson. He gets sacked a lot. He holds on to the ball a lot. And last time he faced him, he didn't have Chris Jones, and I
Yeah.
don't know if Frank Clark was completely healthy. So now you got all your horses there.
Anthony Hitchens, I don't think played
Right,
that game.
and you
yeah.
got a guy who can get sacked a lot. Does that go into this game plan when you got that front now that, can get to him?
But it's a bonus, and we hope that happens. It's not a focus because I think if you just get focused on that, that's when he can beat you. You know, if all you're doing is looking to try to get sacks and you miss, that's when he makes you pay. So there'll be a little bit of everything, and hopefully, because sacks are, listen, a sack's a negative play. You know, puts them behind schedule. If a sack happens on a third down, that's a good down for us, because then our quarterback gets the ball. But hopefully they'll happen more often than they did the last time. It's the biggest hope. Thank you.